Thank you for joining us today for our session on connecting your most important tools to your website experience platform. My name is Greg Kelly, and I'm on our business development team here at Webflow with a primary focus on growing our app marketplace. Joined with me is Meg Murray on our product marketing team and Dmitry Pimenov from our developer platform team. Today's session, we have 4 areas that we're going to walk through. First and foremost, an overview of Webflow apps. Bit of a look back under the hood as to what we launched a year ago and some of the growth that we've seen in the Webflow marketplace since then. Second, Dimitri's going to take us through a walkthrough on what's new with apps, our developer platform, and how we're making it even easier for customers to discover and use third-party technologies in their daily workflows. Part number 3, we're going to dive into some of the most incredible app use cases that our customers are loving, taking advantage of in Webflow every single day, and what those use cases are that we're seeing a phenomenal amount of innovation from through our app partner community. And lastly, a bit of an overview and walkthrough around how to build an app if there's any future app partners in the room. And with that, let's kick things off with Meg taking us through an overview of the growth of Webflow apps.
My name is Meg, and I am on the solutions marketing team here at Webflow. So before we even get started talking about what's new with apps and the kinds of apps that you can use on Webflow, I want to start talking about why Webflow apps exist in the first place, why we all started working on this a little over a year ago. No, 2 years ago. So before I get started, how many of you are familiar with this image? Anyone? I see some hands. I'm sure it's actually probably impossible to make out from the back of the room. So for those of you that aren't familiar with it, this is the MarTech map. So it's referred to as a super infographic, and it's published by Scott Brinker each year, outlining the number of tools available in the marketing technology stack. Scott's actually here speaking at WebflowConf in SF with us today or tomorrow, so definitely go to his talk. Fascinating person. But so in May, when he publishes it every year, this year in May, this year's report found that there's a net addition of over 3,000 new tools for marketers to consider. That's just in 1 year alone, 3,000 new tools, which is insane. So if we go all the way back to 2011, when he first published it, there's been a 10,000% increase in marketing tools, which is an insane number for marketers to process and deal with. And so what that means is that, not all of these tools are tools that you're going to connect to your website. Obviously, you don't need 10,000 tools connected to your website. It means that every marketing team, every agency has a unique set of mission-critical tools for their business that they prefer to integrate with, right? Quick question for the crowd. How many of you have at least one external tool connected to your site? How many have 5? More than 10? Okay, that's pretty good. Oh, I think we had one person with 10. So that is why Webflow apps are here. We as a team can't build all those direct integrations that you need, so we want to give you the flexibility to assemble the dream tech stack that you want. And like we heard during the keynote, users are often stuck choosing between a headless platform where they can build this, an entirely flexible tech stack together, but they need engineers because they need to configure APIs. Or you can go with a traditional DXP that's an all-in-one solution, but often you're sacrificing the exact tools you need to get the job done. And so apps play a critical role in the website experience platform that you all heard about during the keynote. They provide freedom and flexibility to assemble the tech stack you want without the heavy lifting of APIs and technical integrations. And as Webflow continues to expand our core functionality into optimization and analytics, you'll start to see new apps there as well. And so that is why last year at WebflowConf, the 3 of us actually launched apps to the Webflow marketplace. And last year we partnered with some amazing app partners like HubSpot and Typeform and Unsplash. Have any of you used any of those apps? Yes? Cool. And like we also heard in the keynote, we've come a long way since then. And there's now over 200 apps in the marketplace, which we're going to talk about in just a minute. But you can now connect your site to tools like Figma and Adobe and Google Analytics, Microsoft Clarity, and so many more. So I'm going to pass it over to Dmitry. We're going to talk about those new apps in a minute, but Dmitry's going to talk to you guys about what's new with apps in the last year since our launch.
Awesome. Thank you, Meg. I'm really excited to share some updates. It's been a big year. So I'm Dmitry. I'm a product manager supporting our developer platform team. and we've had a lot of progress over the past year. I'll start with the Webflow Marketplace. The Marketplace is the place to find solutions that integrate with your Webflow site. And we made a lot of small and big improvements. One is search. So now you can search by more than just the app name. You can also search by keywords, use cases, and find exactly the apps that you're looking for. And as we've grown to over 200 apps, we've also seen a need to accommodate the growing app catalog. So we've completely revamped our app categories, making it easier to filter and discover the apps that are perfect for your use case. One other small but mighty improvement is likes. We took likes from Made in Webflow and brought it into the app marketplace, and to help you compare similar apps and also show support for developers that are building some really awesome solutions in the community. And we know that you don't want to break your flow to find and use apps. Last year, when we launched apps, we launched the new app panel. And this year, we've made a lot of investments to make that app panel even more useful. You can now browse apps in full detail. You can see the app card, you can see the permissions, all from inside of the designer. You can search, and you can even install apps, all without having to leave the designer surface. So you can keep using apps, all without skipping a beat. And a really exciting announcement to kind of stay with this theme of making apps feel frictionless and at your fingertips. We're excited to announce a new capability. And we had this as part of the keynote. We have a new feature called App Connections. So App Connections allow you to show your users as an app developer what resources are managing, or what apps are managing their resources. So an example to make this concrete is we have Form Connector, which is a really awesome app that's being built by the Candid Leap team. Form Connector is an app that allows you to connect Webflow forms to third-party data destinations like Salesforce or Airtable. And when you map a form using the Form Connector app, what you see is you have this little breadcrumb that gets added to the form settings. And your other collaborators for your site can see this connection and gives them the context that this form is being managed by an app. And that's really powerful because when you relaunch from this entry point, rather than being brought to the main menu and seeing kind of the generic, map a new form, you're actually brought directly into the mapping for that specific form. And that kind of deep integration is really what we're going after with App Connections. We're launching with images and forms, but we'll be expanding to other element types soon. Really excited to see where apps take App Connections and how they make their apps feel even more deeply integrated into the core product experience. And to round this all out, over the past year, we've made some really big investments across our designer and data APIs. We're unlocking a lot of new use cases, like being able to bulk manage CMS assets, organize and author images and other kinds of visual assets, create and manage components and variables at scale. You can now get site activity logs. You can even create sites and configure redirects programmatically through the API. There's really a lot that's been landing, and we ship new API updates just about every month. And with that, I'm going to pass it back to Greg to share some top use cases for apps.
Thank you, Dimitri. As you can see from the updates that Dimitri walked us through, we're trying to really be intentional about the types of apps that we have in the marketplace, but also intentional around how users like yourselves can discover and take advantage of the use cases that are solved by the apps that are available in Webflow today. Now, what we want to do now is just walk you through some of the use cases that we've seen powerful innovation from our app partner community, and potential use cases that everyone in the room here in San Francisco or online are already taking advantage of in your daily Webflow workflows. The 4 different kind of categories that we want to feature and walk you all through today are AI, digital asset management, analytics and SEO, and design. Now, this list isn't designed to be exhaustive in nature, but it is a really good example of the different use cases that we're seeing that innovation from through our app partner community. First, let's take a closer look at AI, and specifically apps that are helping users leverage AI as a natural extension within their daily Webflow workflows. The first app that I want to walk through and highlight today is Reloom. Now, Reloom is no doubt a community favorite, and quite honestly, their app is incredibly popular with our customers today. With the Reloom Site Builder app available in the Webflow Marketplace, you can use AI to not only generate wireframes using their AI site builder, you can import your site into Webflow, you can then sync styles with your Webflow project and even automatically create Webflow components along the way. This is an incredibly powerful app that launched earlier this year, and like I mentioned, our users are loving it, and we highly recommend you go check it out in the Webflow marketplace today. The second app within the AI category that I want to highlight and shout out at this moment is Adobe Express. Now, for those that saw, we announced a partnership with Adobe Express 2 weeks ago. The goal of this partnership is to help all of you generate, create, and enhance images with Adobe Express, all within the context of your Webflow site, to get that perfect image for your Webflow page. You can generate images from scratch, you can access the millions of existing Adobe stock images available in their library, and even use AI-enabled editing capabilities like generative fill and remove background to, again, get that picture-perfect image for your Webflow site. Now, one of the things we're excited to highlight here today at Webflow Conf is that exclusive to Webflow customers, Adobe is offering a free 3-month trial of Adobe Express Premium, and you'll receive this link in your email after you install the app. This will give you access to 250 generative credits per month, access to all of their templates, all the bells and whistles of the Adobe Express product, including access to over 200 million Adobe stock photos. Next up, let's take a closer look at our second category, digital asset management.
Thanks. I was waiting for the over to you, Meg.
Over to you.
Thank
Meg.
you. Thanks, Greg.
You're welcome.
So the next category we're going to talk about is digital asset managers. As a marketer, this is a tool that's near and dear to my heart. I can't begin to explain the number of assets that we were juggling last night to get ready to ship all the announcements today. And so digital asset managers let teams efficiently and securely store, organize, manage, and share digital files and assets. And being able to connect your DAM to your site helps your team streamline how they're managing assets across all those channels. It means you don't have to download a thing, go find it, upload it back to Webflow. It's just all going to be in one spot. So the first one that we launched, how long ago did we launch this one?
August?
Cool. Binder. Binder is like an industry leader in this space. They're digital asset, and they've recently launched an app on Webflow. The app lets you upload, search, tag, and manage your Binder assets and collections within Webflow. So you sync your assets right to the Webflow Assets panel. You can crop and customize assets right in Webflow, and you can embed directly across Binder's CDN or from Webflow itself. We also have an app from StockPress, who's actually sponsoring the coffee cart outside today. Shout out to StockPress. And the StockPress app lets users browse your StockPress files inside Webflow, so you can add them to your site. You can search and find files using AI and custom tagging, and you can sync assets between Webflow and StockPress. Dimitri, do you want to walk us through SEO?
Thanks, Meg. So really excited to highlight some of the awesome analytics and SEO apps that we now have in the marketplace. So this year, we relaunched our Google Analytics integration as an app. We built the Google Site Tools app, and it's a really powerful app that allows you to connect to the full Google marketing platform. So you can add Search Console, Tag Manager, and Analytics all in a single streamlined flow. And you can even browse data in context, seeing things like bounce rates, all on your site. We've also launched or worked with Microsoft to launch a new Microsoft Clarity app, which gives you really deep insights into how your site is being used. They have some really exclusive and pretty cool tools like heat maps, AI summaries of user trends, and even video replays, allowing you to see exactly how users are engaging with your site, what they're clicking on, where they're scrolling, and so on. And I know that SEO is top of mind for so many marketers. I want to highlight 2 leading apps in this category. First, Fluid SEO offers really actionable SEO recommendations with even one-click improvements you can make to your site. And SEMflow gives you really granular scoring and insights, allowing you to optimize your site's search engine ranking. And with that, I'll pass it back to Greg to round out our 4th category, apps that help you design your sites, help you design your site.
Thank you. Like Dimitri mentioned, our final category that we'll do a spotlight on today is design, right? So a closer look at design apps that help give our Webflow customers even more superpowers as they're building their Webflow site. The first app that I'm excited to highlight today is Lottie Files. Who's had a chance to use the Lottie Files app so far? Right? Lots of hands in the room, hopefully lots of shout-outs in the chat online. Lottie Files is trusted by over 8 million designers and developers, allowing you to seamlessly embed ultra-lightweight and highly customizable Lottie animations onto your web page. Once you install the app from our marketplace, you're going to have access to over 100,000 free, ready-to-use Lottie animations for your Webflow site. You can then personalize these free animations to match your brand color palette to make sure it's on brand for your final published website. And of course, if you're a paid customer of theirs, you can actually access all of your team's private animation libraries, which tends to be popular, especially with our enterprise customers. The next design app I want to do a feature on is FinSuite Components, which recently launched an app to our marketplace. In the first year of the Webflow app marketplace, FinSuite has been an incredible partner of ours, building multiple amazing apps for Webflow customers around the globe to take advantage of. Now, FinSuite Components launched a few weeks ago and actually helps you create complex components inside of Webflow, like sliders, cookie consent, without the need for code. You can even style these components natively with classes in the Webflow Styles panel, so you never have to leave the building process of your Webflow site. You can get started with the FinSuite Components app for free by installing it through the Webflow app marketplace, and be sure to give it a like if it helps you solve some of your core design use cases. The last set of design apps that we want to highlight today are Boosters and SVG Import. These are two apps built by some of our community partners that are incredibly popular within our customer base today. With Boosters, you can unlock the full potential of custom code by using powerful boosters, things like tooltips, count-ups, hover effects, sliders, and more to create that perfect final site. And lastly, SVG Import is another incredibly popular app inside of our marketplace, and it does exactly what you'd expect. It makes it easy to bring any SVG into your Webflow project as native editable elements, and all you have to do is simply paste your SVG code. Now, I'm sure there's a handful of you either in the room today, as I can see some of our app partners present, or folks online that are thinking, how do I build an app? How do I join this community? How do I participate in this ecosystem? Well, speaking candidly, it's actually quite simple, and the three of us are extremely proud of the program that we've been able to create so far to make it easy for you to get started. There's four kind of simple steps to follow. First and foremost, you want to review our developer docs. We actually recently published them. We republished them, I think, as early as this morning, right? Yesterday. And it's an incredibly intuitive experience for you to learn about the different developer surface areas that are available to you to build apps within. Specifically, we have data APIs that hook into the back end of the Webflow site and all the surface areas you would expect, and then also designer APIs to create that front-end experience for the users that take advantage of your app. Once you have the chance to ultimately build your app for the first time, you're going to be able to submit it to our marketplace review team. We actually have a team of human beings that go in and QA and review every single app that hits the marketplace to maintain that certain level of quality to protect and ensure our users are having a really positive experience. Now, once your app is approved, you'll receive an email notification, and then you'll either work with our developer relations team or your primary partnership contact to decide on a go-live date, right? When are we going to publish it to the marketplace? And from there, of course, you'll gain access to all sorts of co-marketing options to not only drive adoption with our existing user base of your app, but also with users in the future that migrate over to Webflow. Now, if you're looking to learn more about apps from a handful of our top partners, we're thrilled to share that this year at Webflow Conf in both San Francisco and in London, we have representation from across some of these best partners of ours. Here are 3 sessions this week at San Francisco alone that you won't want to miss. So this afternoon at 2 p.m., we have a panel conversation with the head of product for Microsoft Clarity. This session's at 2 p.m. It's all around how marketers can turn insights into action, and it'll be a phenomenal conversation. At 3 p.m., we have the team from Adobe Express coming up on this main stage to do a walkthrough around how to use AI to build visuals that actually convert. And they'll take a closer look at the Adobe Express product and, of course, the Adobe Express app for Webflow users. And then lastly, we have Keegan, also known as WebBay. Also kind of fascinating how we always feel the need to say both of his, Anyways, Keegan, WebBay, one of our best app developers, doing a session tomorrow at 11 a.m. on the unexpected gateway to full stack development using Webflow. Hopefully all of you will either check out those sessions in person or be sure to tune in online, as they'll of course be live streamed. And with that, I just want to thank everyone for joining us today, and just know that on our side, we're always looking for ideas and recommendations from our customer base on what other apps you might be looking for represented in our marketplace. If you follow the QR code on the screen, you'll be able to submit a form that lets us know some of those needs, right? What apps do you want to see next that we can get published to the marketplace for you. And with that, just want to thank everyone for your time and look forward to seeing you at the rest of the conference. Thanks all.